everyone, and welcome to this week's edition of the Collection Comic of the Week. This episode should be dropping on Valentine's Day for the year 2021, and I thought that, well, to kind of keep things in the romantic Valentine's Day spirit, I decided to pick out a book that is the culmination of all the romance that I like in comic books, or at least the couple that I like the most in comic books, starting their journey together, at least as a married couple, and that is Mr. and Mrs. X #1, written by Kelly Thompson. Back when I was doing the weekly comic shop adventures and talking about the books that I was excited to read and that really stood out to me, this book came up a lot. So there's people that may have been following the channel when I was doing those. They're going to go, oh, Gray's going to talk about this book some more. And yeah, I am. But it fits with Valentine's Day. And I'm sorry, but just please give the video a chance. This was, something that I'm very critical of current Marvel comics, but this is something that kind of, through the ashes of them bait and switching, gave fans something to really look forward to. This Gambit and Rogue got married as a result of Kitty and Colossus deciding not to get married and canceling the wedding at the very last second, and then Gambit finally just says, puts all out there Rogue, and they have a wedding. And, it kind of caught me out of left field, but it was just, wow, this is good. This makes sense. This is really well done. And the other thing that kind of, when I read it, that, really hit close to home with me is it's like, this is the one thing, or one of the few things left in comics that hasn't happened yet, that since I was a little kid that got into the X-Men, it was kind of the last thing to happen. It was finally the last thing to finally come full circle from, over 20 years of being a fan of the X-Men, these mutants, particularly Gambit and Rogue, two of my favorites. It was something that's like, wow, okay, this is actually happening. The X-Men grew up. The characters grew up. They've matured. They have. We as fans have grown up with these characters, and finally we've grown up to the point to where now they're a married couple. Now they're, they've made it, and that happened when I was an adult. I feel like that's kind of cool. That the culmination of something, didn't happen when I was a kid or a teenager. It happened when I grew up too. It happened when I became an adult. It happened whenever I was well into adulthood, much like, they're well into their relationship by the time, and on again, off again, and the whole lore behind Gambit and Rogue. So it's a very, I'm not really the most sappy person when it comes to romance sort of things, but this is one that hit close to home. This is one that was, the whole series was well written, well done. How this came to fruition was, well done when I was getting ready to be very, very angry at something. But yeah, it was just a great series, and, it's Valentine's Day after all, so let's check it out. So take a look at that cool cover. Like, that's just awesome. I mean, this makes me happy. Like, this is a book that makes me happy. It's something I've always wanted, and it's just, wow, it's just really, I love this series. It's just, I really wish it was still going on. Anyway, let's start looking into the book. And kind of get a look at the wedding and the toast that just kind of came out of nowhere, and it's just, it's just, sometimes it's nice to feel good. Beautiful shot, right? It's just beautiful artwork right there. I want that on a poster. Like, I really do. Going into the wedding reception there. Some talk with Rogue and Illyana. Again, really great art in this whole series. Great art, great writing. It was kind of like, what more can you ask for with a series like this? Nice, really sweet moment there with Rogue and Mystique. Just, it's just a lot of things really felt like they kind of, you feel like you grew up. Everything kind of came together. This book, like I kind of said earlier, it felt like everything grew up. As far as my fandom of the X-Men, this is the book that represents all of that to me. Another great wedding art right there. More tender moments. Much later. I do like that, but still some just really romantic and sweet moments with Remy and Rogue. And of course, the happiness ain't gonna last forever. You got two X-Men that are married. Eventually, duty calls. Got first group they're gonna fight. A little bit of action. It's not all just a mushy romantic book. It's got some for those that want to see that badass X-Men action, if you will. And eventually, Rogue blacks out, and she's with Deadpool. She's with Deadpool right now, and really nice bit of reading about her passion for these characters from the writer Kelly Thompson, and hype for issue 2. But yeah, this is something I know that can be picked up in trade, or you could probably still find pretty readily. So if you, I hyped it up back when I was doing the weekly comic shop adventures. Even if you don't really love Gambit and Rogue, it's a great title. Just check it out. I cannot encourage you enough to check this out in trade. If by some miracle your local comic shop or an online retailer has the whole series and you want to, if you prefer reading comics that way, go for it. But it's just really, really good. Like, this moment aside, it's a really good book. Sometimes you don't always have a whole lot to say when you're just like, it's good, check it out. Like, there is no analysis that can be made. There isn't really, any sort of, next level sort of insight. Sometimes it's good. It's well written, solid art. If you're an X-Men fan, you can appreciate this book. And it all kind of started here with, the final maturity of, I guess, my fandom of the X-Men and my fandom of Rogue and Gambit. So, just really good. Do you also own that book? Let me know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share, subscribe for more content, not just from the world of comic books, from the world of pro wrestling, gaming, anime, and all things in between. Follow me on my social media pages, facebook.com/athleticgeek89, Twitter athletic_geek89, Instagram athleticgeek89. And if you would like to help this channel out financially, hit me up on Patreon. That's patreon.com/athleticgeek89. Other than that, I'm out. Y'all be cool. Later.